Just another day here in Toronto. This is King Street West. And there is a look to the west. This is at King and Blue Jays Way. I thought that guy on the e-bike was waiting for me for a second. But just west of here, around Spadina, streetcars are not running between Spadina and I believe Sumac Street, which is on the east side of downtown, as a streetcar at King and Church has derailed. And I came across that on a live stream earlier today. And today being Wednesday, June 19th, it is 1:55 p.m. and the temperature is a hot and muggy 29 degrees Celsius, although with the humidex it is definitely feeling a lot hotter than that. And I thought for this one we would take a walk along King Street, which is a bit of a streetcar graveyard. This is a major surface transit route in the city, one of the most important ones downtown. And the whole thing has been stopped in its tracks. And if I have enough battery left over on the camera, maybe I'll head up to Dundas Square. Which some of the knuckleheads at City Hall have decided to go through with, the lame renaming of the square, and I can talk a bit about that. Let's see, I'm at 56% battery life. I did just do a 2+ hour stream before this. So the camera's holding up in this weather. But how often do you see this? This is a designated transit priority corridor. So at most intersections, vehicles cannot go straight through, only cyclists and transit and emergency vehicles. And this is in the entertainment district. This area is known as Restaurant Row. I wonder why this streetcar is just sticking out into the intersection. You think they could have pulled it forward 10 feet or so? If I check the TTC website for service advisories, it says the 503, no service between Charlotte Street, which is just west of here near Spadina, at King Street West, and King Street East at Sumac Street, which is just north of the Distillery District, while we deal with an operational problem. Yeah, that operational problem is a streetcar that has partially jumped the tracks. The 503 Kingston, which runs along the stretch, is also impacted. That one says shuttle buses are running between Charlotte Street at King Street West and King Street East at Sumac, and those shuttle buses must not be running along King. It says buses supplementing service westbound via Parliament, Front, Wellington, Spadina, and eastbound via Spadina, Adelaide, and Parliament. The 504 streetcar is also detouring between Broadview and Dundas. The St. Clair streetcar isn't even running. That one is supposed to come back into order very soon. I don't think At any given point in recent history, the entire streetcar network has been up and running as intended. And it's closed just north of here on Queen Street through the financial district as they're building the Ontario line underneath that stretch. So that one's a bit more understandable. There is an awful lot of transit capacity taken off the network. We are heading towards the financial district. So I think I'll just go as far as the Derailment. I talked to a super friendly worker there during my live stream as we head over the Canadian Walk of Fame across from the Royal Alex Theatre. And he let me know a few of the wheel sets were still on the tracks and they're just kind of trying to nudge the derailed part back towards the tracks and then hoping if they pull it forward, those parts will pop back onto the tracks. But apparently it's been like that since around 9:15 this morning. And it wasn't too long ago on King Street East again, right around Sherbourne and King Street, where a streetcar was hit by a vehicle and derailed, and that one was quite messy and took a few days to clear up. There's Roy Thompson Hall on the right. So we'll chalk this one up to being a freak accident. Possibly a product of underfunding and a lack of maintenance. And I guess they'll have to thoroughly inspect the track. It'd be a shame if they get this streetcar on the tracks, then the next one to go through, that turn just hops off the tracks. I'm sure that would be one of their big concerns. This is at Simcoe Street. And this weather is absolutely gross. I've been walking around in it for about 3 hours now. Although I signed up for it, a lot of these people are just trying to get to where they need to go and find themselves on foot. It is very muggy and hot. Hey Google, what is the weather right now with the humidex? Let me ask. Mr. Google says 29, high of 29, 70% chance of precipitation. But it did not tell me. Toronto. There it says heat warning in effect. And this is University Avenue. This is where St. Andrew Station is. So we're about to cross over into the financial district. There we go, 29. Oh, that's focusing, feels like 38. I guess it's appropriate that I'm wearing a t-shirt that I bought in Thailand recently. This weather certainly is reminiscent of what you might experience over there. There's a disabled streetcar. No shit, Sherlock. And this is York Street, Hong Kong. This is a street where vehicles can go straight through, I believe. It's one of the few. See no left or right turns up there. You have to go straight unless you're a transit vehicle, a cyclist, or an emergency vehicle. It'll be interesting to see what it's like on King in a few hours when that afternoon rush hour kicks in. I bet these bike share docks will be getting a lot of use. And this piece of art was last seen at David Peacock Square up in front of Roy Thompson Hall. It's now found its way in front of First Canadian Place. Kind of want to cross the street and get a better look at it. There's a neat touch of whimsy right at the base of where I used to work up in First Canadian Place. And I can vouch for the pizza at this place, King Taps. It is quite excellent. As we continue walking east on King Street towards Bay and King at the heart of the financial district. And if you're wondering where the heck all the people are, the world's largest underground shopping network is right below, connecting the subway stations and most of these giant office towers. It's called the Path Network. It is air conditioned, and in the dead of winter on the coldest days, and on days like this in the spring and summer, and I guess fall for that matter, so whenever weather is too hot or too cold, most people tend to just stay below ground. Sometimes people comment on my videos, where the heck are all the people? You're in this big financial capital of an entire country. Well, on a day like this, you can't blame people for staying underground. Here is Bay Street. Got a light, might as well cross. There's Old City Hall. At what looks to be the terminus of Bay Street, but it actually curves around it. And that sun is brutal. Maybe tomorrow I'll give myself a nice day off. Not sure what these people are waiting for. I haven't seen any buses running along here. Is there service along here?
I'm hoping so. I do see a streetcar on the other side. I don't really know what's going on.
Well, there's a derailment at King and Church. I'm just wondering why there's people waiting. I haven't seen a bus or streetcar all afternoon.
Oh, really?
You think they would send someone out here to...
Because when I checked the number there, it said the 501 was like 6 minutes away. So
well, I hope you're right.
I don't know. I hope so too.
Because all these people are waiting, so you're probably right.
When did the derailment happen? Do you know?
9:15?
Oh, good Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah, they should be finished.
Yeah, I just haven't seen any transit. I might not be paying attention, but good luck. I was just curious if I'm completely out of the loop or not, but there's people waiting there. And she said about 6 minutes. I don't want to make her second guess herself and leave if transit wasn't that coming. These are the conditions where Uber and Lyft have a field day, jacking their rates up. And I can see the derailed streetcar straight ahead. When I saw it, I had a thought, maybe we'll wait around and see if they can get this running, but I think it was wise to have kept moving. This is King and Yonge. There's one thing the TTC doesn't do well, that's communication during closures and shutdowns like this.
Good news of Jesus. Jesus the Christ, God Almighty.
Maybe it's time to get with the program and have digital boards on routes like this that can keep people updated as to what's going on. You can see a separate set of signals for transit and authorized vehicles, which basically just be city and emergency vehicles, and I guess approved contractors. No service?
Yeah, there's no service. There's a derailed streetcar.
Yeah, there's people waiting for buses all along there.
They won't.
At King and Bay. It's not coming, is it?
Well, I have no idea.
Yeah.
To be honest, what's going on that end there.
Yeah, good luck. Well, thank you. I mean, he was super friendly. Hey, that guy had a Tech Trendy scooter. I had one of those. But we are on the east side of downtown. Not a good decision by that guy. Classic burger, fries, and a drink, $11.99. So here is the streetcar in question just up ahead. I don't think it's budged since I last saw it, maybe an hour and a half ago.
So I
piece of cake.
And what's really not good about this is Church Street doesn't have streetcar service, but it does connect the east-west streetcar lines on King, Dundas, Carlton, and well, those three so this knocks off a major route diversion point. And apparently they've been at it pretty much all morning. That guy was just asked to step back. Can't see my camera. No need to get so close when I got a zoom.
Alright. I'm up here, so I can communicate. Okay, so your contact is there?
What?
So you were going to stand up there?
No, you stand here, I'll stand on the other side. Because you can still see from here.
We have a news crew here. So again, it was east of here at Sherbourne, just past Sherbourne, where a streetcar derailed the other week. Seeing if I can see what outlet that is. Oh, this is new. This service vehicle was not here last time. Whoops. Got the S24 Ultra out here.
There's nowhere for you to go. It's all blocked off.
You're saying there's nowhere for them to go, it's all blocked off. That can't be good. They've got blocks out. Well, huge thanks to these workers for braving these conditions to try to get this transit system back up and running. Man, it is sweltering. I can't imagine what it would be like. Hopefully they've got a steady supply of water and some snacks. And ample break time.
Alright.
Well, maybe if I remember to, I can do an update if they get this thing sorted out or not. But there is the derailment, blocking a very busy surface transit corridor along King Street from Spadina to Sumac. You are SOL if you want to take this route. Please fend for yourself. On one of the worst weather days you could possibly find yourself stranded and having to go for a walk. Gotta make sure a cyclist doesn't come ripping through here. This is Adelaide Street. Which should be receiving regular streetcar service later this year, as the Queen streetcar will be diverted along Adelaide. At least eastbound streetcars. Let's see, how am I doing for battery? 35%. All right, let's head up to Dundas Square. Where a certain Toronto City Councillor is hell-bent on embarrassing the heck out of the City of Toronto and insulting all of its citizens. New tower going up on Church. All right, this is Richmond Street, which again, just west of here, will be servicing streetcars as part of the 501 Queen route diversion. And that should last for about 4 years, although it is Metrolinx on the case, so take that with a grain of salt. Maybe what we'll do is we'll walk along Queen Street over to Yonge, and then I'll pop up to the square. There's a 501B Queen streetcar replacement bus making its way south down here. Classic Toronto driving, intersection not clear. I think I'll enter it and block everyone. So this streetcar is going to find its way over to Bathurst somehow. Streetcar, bus. This heat is definitely getting to me. Welcome to Queen Street East. Sounds like a disagreement. Might be best just to stay over here. This heat does crazy things to people. Maybe it was a day like this when Chris Moyse hatched his plan to go on a side quest to waste taxpayer money, renaming a square. I don't normally get that political on the channel, but I think this is an issue that we shouldn't just roll over and take, as it sets a nasty precedent for what can only be a misappropriation of public taxpayer money and an incredibly misguided and waste of resources In a city facing an affordability crisis, there's a mental health crisis, lack of housing. We have a transit system, as you've seen, that is barely functional. It's extremely underfunded. There's often gridlock on the streets everywhere you look. But sure, let's spend $1 million renaming a square nobody asked for. All right, I think we can slither alongside the south side of this construction here. Sorry if it's not the most positive and upbeat video. Sometimes this is just how it goes. I can barely hold on to my camera. My hands have been sweating that much. I've started walking on this journey around 11 a.m. I started up in Greektown and I streamed my way over to downtown. And we're at Yonge Street. And whatever those guys are making today, it is not enough to be out on a hot construction site. There's the Eaton Center on the left. We'll be at Dundas Square in a few minutes. It's hard to believe it is just 29. Feeling like 39 right now. There's a city news truck. They are everywhere, in the words of the late, great Mark Daly. At this point, I feel a little bit like Harold and Kumar about to come across White Castle, although I guess in this case, it would be a Shake Shack. There's a chain I think would do really well here. And coming soon to a former Nordstrom near you, Italy. And Simon's. And I think there's another major tenant planned to move in there.
Inside.
That girl was walking around with a portable fan. And here we go, Dundas Square. I will also accept Yonge-Dundas Square, as that's its official name, but most people call it one of those two. But last year, City Councilor Chris Moyse went on a misguided side quest in a not very transparent process to rename the square. They set aside some resources and funds to create a committee to come up with a new name for the square without any real public consultation or letting the public in on the renaming. And the name they came upon was a name I'm going to try to utter as little as possible because it is absolutely stupid to the name, Sankofa. And yesterday, the reason why I'm on this topic now, and possibly about to pass out from heat exhaustion, but yesterday, a petition from the Flyer Vault, an Instagrammer who does an excellent job documenting club and concert history, brought forth a petition that was at one point the largest petition or the most trending one on change.org, with over 30,000 signatures from concerned citizens regarding the renaming of Yonge-Dundas Square. And Chris Moyse was very dismissive of that gentleman, accusing him, basically his only card is accusing anyone opposing the name change of being racist, ignoring the fact that the name they have chose has strong ties to a hateful and intolerant past and present. Not that I really care about that, I just think it's kind of ironic that they're replacing Dundas Square, Henry Dundas, a known abolitionist, with a name that's basically a slap in the face to the LGBTQ community here in the city. It's also a slap in the face to all the great Torontonians that have come and gone, and people in places with strong ties to the city that it would be much better suited being named after. We are pretty much living in the movie Idiocracy. Well, yesterday, Chris Moyse and some of the other city councilors, along with the mayor, Olivia Chow, doubled down on the plan, which is going to cost nearly $1 million to throw that idiotic name in a sign up there. And I have yet to meet a single person in the wild or online that thinks this name change is a good idea. It benefits exactly no people. Nobody's life will be made better, and in a city with countless problems, it just seems like such an absurd waste of resources. And if you're going to rename it, you could just do the obvious, Toronto Square, Yonge Square. You could call it Gordon Lightfoot Square, Gord Downey Square, Terry Fox Square. Here's an idea, how about Doug Ford Square? He may not be popular in these parts, but if we called it that, I guarantee he would come and foot the bill for it and jazz it up nicely. And once he's out of office, we can just rename it back to Dundas Square. not very well played by City Council, and it's certainly putting a lot of egg on the face of this city. Anyways, there's my little rant. Remember, the poor decisions and misallocation of much needed city resources come election time. But yeah, I think my braid's about to shut down. I've been out in the heat too long. So I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. Let me know your thoughts and comments down below. If you wish to support the channel, there's links to my Patreon and YouTube channel membership down in the description. I have an Instagram account at Johnny Strides, and there is a super thanks button appearing down below if you wish to say thanks that way. And I am a greased up, slimy YouTuber right now. I need to go home and burn these clothes and jump into the shower. So thanks for watching, guys. I shall catch you in the next one from Dundas Square. Yoink.